Good afternoon, YouTube. How's it going? Welcome back to Horticulture Geek. We are working on a quick project today. We are at the entry gate to our backyard, and I have some planters here with plum trees in them. And the plum trees have become completely pot bound, so I'm having to upgrade pots and move up. This is a good thing because I may actually get some fruit off these plum trees this year. So let me flip the camera around and I'll show you what the plum trees are currently in. Okay, so here is the plum tree currently. So you can see it's just in a regular pot and it's grown up pretty big. It's in full flower right now. And it's going into this. We just picked these up. So, and you know that your tree is root bound when the whole root ball comes right out of the pot. So I'm gonna set the camera up and get the tree into the pot and get it planted. And I am sorry for the road noise. Just bear with me. I am on the front part of our property and it is a little more noisy out here, but I'm gonna get this camera set up now and I'll show you planting this pot up. So what I just did is I added, flower blossom. So what I just did is I already had some dirt in the bottom of that big pot, but not enough. So I had to put more dirt in and lift the plant up just to get it to the right level. So I didn't want the pot too far down, or excuse me, I didn't want the tree too far down in the pot. I only want about 1/2 inch lip, between the soil surface and the top of the pot. So now I've got it at a pretty good level. So I'm gonna backfill it, and then I'm gonna put some fertilizer in it. And since this is a plum tree, and I am hoping to get fruit off of it, I'm just gonna be using vegetable and tomato. It's what I have on hand. This stuff is good because it's the organic kind, but it does help with like blossom end rot and a few other things, which, plum trees are full of blossoms, and it's not the best thing in the world to use for a plum tree. I mean, they make stuff that's specifically formulated, but I'm not running to the store. I have this, it'll help. So another thing to point out is you don't normally want to compact your soil in your planters or in your raised beds or whatever. But in this situation, because I'm planting a root-bound tree that is a tree, it's tall, and the tree will catch the wind, I am going to be packing that soil in there pretty good. I mean, I'm not going to be making concrete out of it, obviously, but I want to secure that root ball so that that tree doesn't flop around in the wind. So you're going to see me working that dirt down and around that root ball just to keep it stabilized and to help it stay upright where I position it. And the next step, water it in real good. All right, so let me show you the containers now. I'll show you both of them here so you can see what we've got done. Sorry for the shaky camera too, by the way. My tripod is currently misplaced. I think a kid took off with it. We're gonna find that though. Okay, here we are. I've got my mess all cleaned up. So there's the first one, and there's the second one on either side of the gate that goes into the back. And so here's what we've got down in there. This is the original soil surface here, and it is proud just a little bit because this soil will naturally compact on its own, even more so than what I've done, especially now that I've watered it. So I'll come back here in a day or two and just put a nice thin layer on top just to smooth everything out. And then I will be coming and underplanting these here in probably a week or two. And here's this one, and he's already got a little friend in his pot with him. That's a vinca vine that was left over from last year in the old pots. He survived the winter, so he gets to stay here, and I'll get a matching buddy to go in that pot over there. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this quick video, just a quick project that had to be done here. I am excited for this because these plum trees are about 3 years old at this point. I got them from the garden center on clearance. They were on clearance. They were pretty scraggly looking, and they were in 3-gallon containers when I bought them. And they had been in the garden center all season. They weren't really taken care of that well because it was a big box garden center. I'll just be honest. It wasn't a good garden center. It was a big box store. So they were pretty scraggly when I got them. So I nursed them back to health, and I potted them up into those bigger pots that I had before, knowing that they would, eventually get root bound in there. And they haven't bore fruit for me yet because they just haven't. They had to recover so much. So this year I have got them now that the roots are good. I've got these big, massive urns for them to go into, these big planters, which I'm excited about. So their roots are gonna have room to really get out and get stuff out of this fresh pot and soil. And I have laid the fertilizer to them, which is gonna encourage them to take off even more. And here's another thing about plum trees. The reason I like to do plum trees in pots, maybe some of you out there are like, why in the world do you have plum trees in pots? Plum trees can be a little bit on the invasive side. If you've ever had one, their roots will, if you plant them out in the landscape or in the yard, their roots will shoot out, and anywhere that their root makes contact with the air, the soil surface, it will start a new plum tree. And so if you've ever worked around plum trees, you know that there will be hundreds of little baby plum trees and suckers that come up on the ground all the way around them, and they will just keep going. So you have to be very diligent with a plum tree. Now, I think there are some varieties out there that may not be as bad as that, but anyway, that's my personal experience with them. And so I do not want to take the risk of that in my garden. So I like them in pots. And plus they're just pretty. I mean, look at this red color. You've got this nice red plum tree with the bright pink flowers. I mean, come on, they're pretty. And so right here, they flank the entry gate to the backyard. So that's why we have those in pots. But guys, like I said, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Hopefully maybe you've learned something. Maybe it inspired you to get out and do something on your own. If you liked this video, give us a thumbs up. Check us out on our Facebook page under the same name, Horticulture Geek. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do it. Join us, hit that bell, and we will notify you every time we post a new video. Until next time, from my garden to yours, happy gardening.